Welcome Rotarians and guests to the Rotary Club of York, where our mission is to improve life in the city of York by connecting our club's diverse community leaders through fellowship, action, and service. I am your president, Courtney Piccolo, and as you know, we start off all of our meetings by reciting the four-way test. If you would please join me. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Today, our opening song, America, My Country 'Tis of Thee, and the pledge will be led by District Governor nominee designate Aaron Jacobs, followed by the invocation with past District Governor Dick Brown, and visitor introductions by Sarah Bradley.
Thank you, President Courtney. Rotarians, please join me. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the Pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As we reflect on the culture and arts so active in our community, I'd like to read a prayer of our heart by Vienna Cobb Anderson. Bless the creators, O God of creation, who by their gifts make the world a more joyful and beautiful realm. Through their labors, they teach us to see more clearly the truth around us. In their inspiration, they call forth wonder and awe in our own living. In their hope and vision, they remind us that life is holy. Bless all who create in your image, O God of creation. Pour your spirit upon them that their hearts may sing and their works be fulfilling. And may we as Rotarians fold their creativity into our works of service in this very needy world. Amen.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sarah Bradley, and I'm pleased to have the honor of introducing our guest at today's meeting. When I call your name, please stand and remain standing until President Courtney has welcomed you. We have Jim Fowler, guest of Kelley Gibson. Ophelia Chambliss, guest of Kelley Gibson. Cindy Donley, guest of Tom Donley. Lindsay Veras, guest of Emily Seitz. Angela Merrick, guest of Carrie Eberling. Eberling, I'm so sorry. Amy Spellman, guest of Kelley Gibson. And Rita Whitney, guest of Kelley Gibson. Thank you. President Courtney.
Welcome, visitors. I hope that you're enjoying a wonderful lunch, engaging fellowship with some outstanding community leaders, and a program that both informs and inspires you. We're truly grateful to have you with us today, and we invite you to visit us again soon. Rotarians, let's give all of our visitors a warm welcome. Our Membership Engagement Committee put together a fun event at the Hershey Bears game this last Saturday. It's been a while since I've been to the Giant Center. I was excited. They have a Chickies and Pete's there. I don't know how long it's been there, but I was really excited. So I thought I'd share that with you because I have the microphone and I can. But really great time that we had at the Giant Center, the Hershey Bears game. And the game even went into overtime. As you can see from this next picture, membership engagement strikes again. They rolled out another bowling event last night, following up on the wildly average performance from last time. Word on the street is that the scores were just as impressively bad as last month's. So consistency is key, right? No, I'm kidding. I was not able to attend, but I did throw my own bowling ball just in support of the event here. So exciting times were had last night, though. So thanks to all who showed up for that. The Rotary Board of Directors meets tomorrow at 8 a.m. on Zoom. The Communications Committee meets April 15th at 4 p.m. at Grand Falloons Tavern. And there will be a new member orientation on April 16th at 10:30 here at the Country Club of York. The Membership Engagement Committee extends congratulations to past president Al Sykes. Al, wave your hand. On his 40th anniversary of being a member of the Rotary Club of York, he joined the club on April 10th in 1985 and has been a Rotarian for more than half of his life. So congratulations to Al. At this time, I invite Eric Menzer to the podium for an exciting announcement about our upcoming offsite meeting at the Revs.
All right. Well, those of you who've been here before know that typically when I do this announcement, I need a hook. I need something to work off of. I need something to get you to come out. Don't worry. Ball throwing is finished at the Rotary Club of York. Last year, I tried to embarrass President Aaron with my trivia contest. I'm not going to do that to you, President Courtney. What I've got this year is bling. That's right. This is about an 8-pound, 10 times replica of our Atlantic League championship rings that we will be presenting to our players at opening day on April 29th. Now, if you want to hold this baby, it's not today. You need to join us on April 23rd at Wellspan Park. Now, all of you who joined us last year, you heard manager Rick Forney introduce 27 players who were, and you were in fact meeting the team that brought exciting winning baseball to York. Again, a team that shattered the Atlantic League record for stolen bases, set a York Revolution team record for runs scored, and thrilled us, of course, with an Atlantic League championship walk-off win, our fourth. So again, on April 23rd, you'll have a chance to meet this year's team, but as they say, wait, there's more. You'll also get to officially meet in his new role, Rotarian Ben Shipley, the new president and general manager of the York Revolution. Ben will share, Ben will share his York story and his vision for the next generation of York Revolution baseball and community service. And finally, we'll also be joined again by Atlantic League President Rick White to report on the state of the Atlantic League and Partner League baseball. You have slips on your table, I see. And watch for the announcer. The meeting does require pre-registration. That's April 23rd at Wellspan Park. Thanks.
Thank you, Eric, and congrats again to Ben. I now invite President-elect Wilda to the podium to share with you some insight from the Rotary District Conference that took place this past weekend. Wilda.
Nice try, Courtney, trying to make me president before my time. It's not enough that she's going to have a baby before, while she's still president. Good afternoon, Rotarians. This past weekend, President Courtney and I joined District Governor nominee designate Aaron, I think he needs a little bit of a longer title, and fellow Rotarian Alyssa Barshinger for the Saturday portion of the multi-district conference. The day was full of presentations centered on the theme of peace and offered plenty of opportunities to connect with past district governors and club officers from across all 4 districts. We heard from past district governor and Canadian Chris Offer, who chairs the Rotary Peace Major Gifts Initiative Committee, about what Rotary is doing to actively promote peace around the world. Mo Eid, a Rotary International Peace Center program officer. I'm seeing a theme here that Rotary likes really long titles of things. And Peace Fellow shared insights about his research in conflict resolution. Bonus, I don't know if it was a bonus, Courtney missed this part. We also learned a little bit about something called the culinary palate of bird poop, and Mo struggled to find peace with birds. It was very interesting. I'm not quite sure how he connected that to Rotary, but we also heard from Linda Lowe. She is also a Peace Fellow and the founder of the Global Partners in Peace Rotary Club, and she spoke about the power of belonging. Now, I'm pretty sure that Alyssa had the best time out of all of us. She spent the weekend chaperoning inbound and outbound exchange students. Their weekend included a rainy day at Hershey Park, made even sweeter by a good-natured persuasion. I'll stop short of calling it a shakedown. that got them complimentary tickets from John Lawn, the CEO of Hershey. Personally, my favorite part of the day was watching our district's four-way test speech contest and hearing from the essay contest winner who came from the Red Lion Dallastown Club. These students were seriously impressive, not just in what they said, but in how they delivered. It takes some talent to memorize a speech. That alone, I was just like, how on earth do they do that? I mean, they speak with confidence and they kept the audience engaged. It was a very long, full Saturday of Rotary. And as you saw earlier, Courtney and I may have ducked out a little early to catch part of the Bears game, but we left feeling inspired by the speakers, proud of our district's youth, and grateful for the connections that made Rotary such a meaningful part of our lives. If you ever get the chance to attend a future district conference, I highly recommend it. It's a great reminder of the impact we can have when we come together across clubs, communities, and borders.
Thank you, Wilda. All right, so since rolling out our club's 3-year strategic plan 11 months ago, I've been giving you updates on how it's been going. In addition to giving you updates, our board meets monthly and reviews the strategic plan, and board members are held accountable to work with committee chairs to ensure that we stay on track and that committees have the support that they need from club leadership. Because the last thing that we would want to do is have this most beautiful strategic plan before us and not be referencing it on a daily basis to ensure that we do all the good work that we said our club was going to do. So in efforts to be transparent and making sure that all of membership knows what is going on, I would like to share another update with you on how the past few months have been going in terms of our club's strategic initiatives. The last update I gave you was back in January when we were at York College. So today's update will cover pretty much anything up to since last January. So to refresh your memory, we have 4 strategic initiatives: create and engage diverse membership, increase our service impact, increase awareness and understanding of our organization, and align governance and resources to support club priorities. So here's what we've been doing so far to create and engage in diverse membership. Our membership engagement committee offered new fellowship and service opportunities where members could connect outside of weekly lunch meetings. You saw this earlier with the bowling and the Hershey Bears game. Our membership recruitment committee has been hard at work and has added 44 new members so far this year. That is the most members we have ever had join in that short of a time period that we have record of. I've been taking this initiative very seriously, and I plan to pop out another Rotarian very soon. To celebrate Black History Month, our IDEA Committee educated us each week in February, highlighting 2 African-American pioneers who have helped shape York. In terms of increasing our service impact, a few volunteer opportunities were put together to work at the food bank, and we had over 30 Rotarians donate a total of 90 hours to help pack over 2,000 boxes of food that will feed over 2,000 families in our community, with the biggest emphasis of those individuals living in the city of York. Our Service Project Development Committee has been drafting ideas for big future service project ideas. These sort of ideas take time, and especially since this is a brand new committee that was created this Rotary year to help with identifying service projects that help our club to maximize its service impact while being aligned with the club's strategic plan. With our club's focus being on the city of York, Youth Exchange is in the early stages of working with other York Rotary clubs to develop a youth exchange focus so that eventually all of our youth exchange resources can go to the city of York. This committee also got approval for the funds to be set aside to help sponsor kids from the city of York for youth exchange, since that was a barrier that was identified when trying to keep their committee's initiatives in line with the club's strategic plan. Youth Literacy is currently working on a project that will provide books to twice as many kids as we normally are able to support, creating bigger impact in the city of York. Under increasing awareness and understanding of our organization, our communications committee, they launched a members-only Facebook group. This is a platform that has allowed our members to share a lot of different life moments, like member Alexis Campbell's groundbreaking ceremony at Horn Farm, member Victoria Connor and Michael Haiti being judges of the York St. Patrick's Day Parade, member Jeff Lobach receiving the Penmar Human Services Distinguished Humanitarian Award, members of our club attending different trainings, members Ben and Fran Hoover getting married, members Dee Baker, Jeff Lobach, Joe Stein, and Brian Grimm celebrating their win at Rotary Trivia back in February. It was a big deal. And the list goes on. The purpose of this group was to help increase awareness of our club, as well as enhance membership engagement levels so that we know what's going on with each other outside of our normal Wednesday lunch meetings. If you've not joined yet, I would encourage you to whip out your phone and do so. You just search Rotary Club of York Downtown Group. That's the members only Facebook page just for members of our club. In addition, Student Education launched a video and worked with Communications Committee to help promote and increase the number of scholarship applications that we typically receive, along with an increased outreach to students in York City. And lastly, aligning governance and resources to support club priorities. Our fundraising projects committee is out at the gate early this year with the goal to raise more money through September's Love for Community event, while also seeking greater participation from our membership. The new YERF Development Committee has taken steps to regularly educate our members on donor opportunities to support our York Rotary Foundation. You've seen past President Brian Tate and past President Glenn Miller speak from the podium about this recently. Additionally, they've established a new recognition program to acknowledge those who donate to our foundation. This will be rolled out in the next few months. So, what is next? All committees of our club, they submitted their committee action plan. Many of you probably were a part of this. It's a document that lays out all the good work that each committee will do and how they will accomplish this and measure it through the end of this year. One of our challenges as a club on the committee level is the need to look further into the future and work ahead. And that's what strategic planning is all about. So reviewing this plan is something I would encourage all of you to be referencing during every committee meeting. I know one area that we're looking for specific help is generating well thought out service project ideas over to SPD, the Service Project Development Committee, so that our club can have a big project with local impact, something that impacts the city of York and involves youth. One member's great idea can be the spark for a project that catches fire. I'm very proud of the work that we've been doing at a committee level and for the great work we are doing together as a club. It's exciting to see us demonstrate that we are people of action. So hopefully that update gave you a little bit more insight into how things are going with our club strategic plan and you know what is going on with all the different committees. And if you're ever looking to reference the plan, you can go to our club's website and you can click on our mission and it'll take you right to the strategic plan. All right, now that that's over, I invite JT Hand to the podium and he is going to introduce our speakers for today. JT.
Thank you, President Courtney. On a bench in Newbury, England, the country's most beloved bear sits once more, wearing his familiar red bucket hat and blue coat. Around his neck, a label reads, "Please look after this bear." Last month, 2 members of the British Royal Air Force vandalized the statue of the storybook bear, leaving only Paddington's shell. While the vandalism was captured on video, it wasn't a local Bobby who identified the 2 culprits. It was the immediate response from hundreds of supporters of public art who pieced together video images and clues that expeditiously identified the 2 and brought them to justice. While there have been 23 such works of art installed across Britain and Ireland, this one was special, as Newbury, England, is the birthplace of Michael Bond, the author of the Paddington book series about this beloved, well-meaning bear. Paddington and Mr. Bond are integral to the character and vibrancy of Newbury, England. And how better to celebrate their contribution than through public art, in the form of a bear, holding tight to a marmalade sandwich, sitting on a park bench. According to Americans for the Arts, public art instills meaning, a greater sense of identity and understandings of where we live, work, and visit, creating memorable experiences for all. Public art humanizes the built environment. It provides an intersection between past, present, and future, and it can help communities thrive. York County is blessed with an abundance of public art assets that contribute to our vibrancy and unique character, which have grown organically, despite no public art planning or Office of Public Art. The development and management of public art can be a complex process. And to address that process and the state of public art in York, how public art amplifies the sense of community, and how we can use it as a tool in our economic and future development, we've invited Kelley Gibson and Rita Whitney from the Cultural Alliance of York County, and David Gonzalez of the York County Economic Alliance. Kelley, as you all know, is the president of our Cultural Alliance of York County, South Central Pennsylvania's only United Arts Fund. Serving on Kelley's board of directors has been one of my great community joys, as she's educated me on how art and culture are as important to a thriving community as is water. You knew I was going to get it in at some point. The indefatigable Rita Whitney is the impact director of the Cultural Alliance. Rita directs all allocations and community investment strategies as they align with the Cultural Alliance's mission and educate stakeholders about community needs and solutions. And joining Kelley and Rita is David Gonzalez, the Director of Economic Initiatives for our York County Economic Alliance. Through the YCA, David engages, he advocates, he postulates often, and he invigorates our community as he finds ways to partner in making things happen with those who work, play, and call York County home. As Paddington's Aunt Lucy would say, if we're kind and polite, the world will be right. And remember, a wise bear always keeps a marmalade sandwich in his hat in case of an emergency. Fellow Rotarians and guests, please welcome Kelley, Rita, and David.
I'm going to turn this over to Rita and David to kick off, but thank you, JT. What a fantastic introduction. Thank you for having us, board, former board members, and friends and supporters. Thanks for being here.
Thanks so much, Kelley, and good afternoon. I'm thrilled to be here with you all this morning. We, as JT said, I need the clicker. Okay, here we go. We are here from the Cultural Alliance of York County. We are about to start our 25th year of fundraising and support for arts and culture across York County. Our primary three focus areas are to advocate at the state and federal and local levels for arts and cultural funding and resources, as well as to convene and be that central point that brings all of our different arts and culture focused organizations and artists together to create more platforms to lift all of them up, as well as to be great financial stewards of the investments that we are entrusted with.
And David Gonzalez with the York County Economic Alliance. For those who aren't familiar with YCEA, we often present to this group and always enjoy our time in front of the Rotarians here. To share a little bit about YCEA, for those who just need a little bit of a refresher, we're the makeup of both the York County Chamber of Commerce, Economic Development Corporation, and Downtown Inc., York's Main Street group as well, and host several county authorities underneath our brand. What you can distill from all of that is that we're doing economic development work all throughout the county, and those are different tools to do so. Some of how you know the YCEA, everything from ribbon cuttings, everything from development projects like the Yorktown Hotel, and what's coming up, the Cadorus Greenway, which is helping to beautify the Cadorus Creek throughout the city of York, create a 1.4-mile long linear park along its banks, everything from ribbon cuttings, everything from celebrating entrepreneurs, and much more. And additionally, one thing I'll call out is the York County Economic Action Plan, which is York's economic competitiveness plan. It's part of the comprehensive plan for the County of York. All of that's 142 action items, 82 pages. If you're looking for some light reading today, I'll gladly send you the link so you can read it up into that. What the plan calls out for is focusing on the rural economy, focusing on quality of life, like we're going to discuss today, focusing on the infrastructure and built environment and the future of industry and much more, all as you can imagine. Everything that the plan calls out is what YCA is doing in the last 5 years and will continue to do in the next 5 years as well, as we are currently in the midpoint, focusing in on how can we retool the plan and is the plan keeping pace with what the needs are of today. And some of the other areas we focus in on from that plan, every child has opportunities. It's our focus on ECE, early childhood education, and how we can help advance filling the spots that are desperately needed for students in our county at large, and additionally focusing on housing as well, and a plethora of other focuses. And I'll turn it back over to Kelley.
Seems really simple, but A definition of public art is kind of important so you understand what we're talking about. And real simple is it's art in public spaces. The term public art may conjure images of historic bronze statues of a soldier on horseback in a park. But today, public art can take a wide range of forms, sizes, and scales, and can be temporary or permanent. It often interprets the history of the place, its people, and perhaps addresses a social or environmental issue. Public art can include murals, sculptures, memorials, integrated community art, architectural work, digital, new media, and even performance and festivals. So just as David talked about, I love that the York County Economic Action Plan is a living, breathing document similar to our strategic plan here at the Rotary Club. It's part of York County's quality of life and sense of place, a key objective in that York County Economic Action Plan. Public art has been found to provide a positive impact on communities by supporting economic growth and sustainability, attachment and cultural identity, and social cohesion and cultural understanding. Public art is a tool in economic development and community planning. It interprets the history of a place and addresses community, social, and environmental issues. I say that all the time. Hot Spill, which is up on the screen here, was a way to reflect the history of Foundry Park and where it started. So every time you see a piece of public art, it should be a tool being used for a certain purpose. So I'll go over some cool ones from around the country. So this public art is an activation of unused space. In Montreal, Canada, during the darkest, coldest time of the year, they use temporary light installations to activate their dark urban spaces. Impulse was a public art installation comprised of 30 completely illuminated seesaws and series of video projections on nearby building facades. When the seesaws were used, they activated and began to emit sounds, resulting in various musical harmonies. The project was a collaboration between CS Design and Toronto-based Lateral Office. Come on, who wouldn't want to go on a seesaw? Public art can also be remembering people and stories. This is a local piece that's in Royal Square Arts District Mural Park in downtown York. It stands out from the others. A beautiful portrait of Maria Vasquez, who lived in the home and passed away from cancer in 2024, was lovingly painted by her grandson, Sergio Rengifo, and local artist Johnny Skills. It's a testament to the matriarch of this family and provides a sense of history of the place and the lives that lived there. Can also be memorials to victims and tragedies. Known as Stolperstein or stumbling stones, there are now more than 70,000 of these memorial blocks laid in more than 1,200 cities and towns across Europe and in Russia. Each commemorates a victim outside the last known, freely chosen residence. The inscriptions on each stone begins, "Here lived," followed by the victim's name, date of birth, and fate, internment, suicide, exile, or, in the vast majority of cases, deportation and murder. Together, the Stolperstein now constitute the largest decentralized monument in the world. Despite its vast and international scope, the Stolperstein remain a grassroots initiative. Local groups, often residents of a particular street or school children working on the project, come together to research the biographies of local victims and to raise the €120 it costs to install each stone. The same man inscribes every one of these stones. And it's controversial in that some folks feel that the victims should not be stumbled across or on the ground, but the artist who created it meant everyone to bow before the names that they read. I'll lighten it back up here for you. Public art can also be a sense of safety and security. The Stockholm Lion is an iconic public sculpture found all around the Swedish capital. Cast in solid concrete, the lions serve as traffic barriers, blocking access to pedestrian streets. Susanna Jablonski cast a new version of the lion, identical to the original, but with water ducts in the eyes so that the lion appears to be miraculously crying. It's hard to see, but that one's crying right there. Tears drip down from its concrete eyes onto the asphalt. Weeping Lion was conceived as a public sculpture for the city of Stockholm and placed outside the former residence of the exile poet Nelly Sachs, who was alive from 1891 to 1970. The work was made in dialogue with Anders Artfeldt, the designer of the original concrete barricade lion in 1995. It can also be used for redevelopment and repurpose of a space. In 2016, MoMA invited Katharina Gross to transform an abandoned military building at Fort Tilden in the Gateway National Recreation Area on the Rockaway Peninsula in New York into an artwork using her technique of spraying brightly colored paint directly onto structure. This work is a feature presentation in the ongoing summer series of MoMA, and its public art projects and events celebrating the resurgence of the Rockaways since the devastation of Hurricane Sandy in 2012. Built in 1917, the fort has fallen into disrepair since it was decommissioned and absorbed into the Gateway National Recreation Area. Hurricane Sandy walloped the Aquatic Center, leaving it structurally unsound. It is slated for demolition later this year. Many of Gross's paintings installations have been temporary, which puts her in the unusual situation of a painter of considerable statute whose major works no longer exist. So what do we have here in York? According to artist Rachel White-Red, public works dropped into random sites that have no cohesion or relation to one another are plop art. That's what we have, ladies and gentlemen, in York. We have plop art. It's great. Though mural festivals held in Royal Square and coordinated by Sprocket Mural Works and our project of art installations at the Yorktown Hotel are bringing some cohesion and planning to our public art, most of what exists in York got here because someone wanted it and someone was willing to pay for it. Why is this here? Who put it here? Who's going to take care of it? These are the questions that always get asked a little too late in our public art process. The Marquis de Lafayette statue outside of the Gates House and Plow Tavern is a perfect example of how public art happens in York. Lowell Davis, anyone remember Lowell? Lowell's a great guy. He's a member of the Society of the Cincinnati, and he lived and worked in York. The Society of the Cincinnati is an organization of veteran officers formed in 1783 to honor the Revolutionary War and its ideals. Its membership is passed down through the firstborn son of the members. It was founded by George Washington and Alexander Hamilton, among others. Lafayette was an honorary member of the society, and Lowell worked with Mayor John Brenner at the time to get a statue installed in downtown York to commemorate the toast Lafayette made to quash the Conway cabal. As Lowell said, he wanted to be able to see the statue from York Embroidery Works, where he worked. So Gates House and Plow Tavern was the location selected. Though the Society of the Cincinnati paid for the statue installation, there's no maintenance plan for it. It is only one of a handful of public art installations that has signage that lists who created it and why it is placed where it is. For different reasons, public art's not intended to be permanent. It really, though I can tell you Ophelia Chambliss's public art is about the most permanent public art installations out there, it's still not intended to be completely permanent. It's also not meant to be removed without a thoughtful process that considers the feelings of people who find meaning in the art, while at the same time respecting the rights of the artists and the property owners. For anyone creating and hosting public art, we recommend the following practices. Create strong agreements that identify the relationship between the artist, the site owner, and the community, and define everyone's responsibilities. Define the intended lifespan of the artwork. When that time passes, all parties can evaluate the artwork's condition and decide whether to remove the work, invest in maintaining and using the original artist, or abate it and replace it with a new work. Rule of thumb is if the original artist is not available to touch up or maintenance a work, let it go. That's really its intent. You know, a lot of times we fall in love. This is the Four Chaplains mural. It's a fantastic subject. It's a memory we want to keep, but the mural itself is not adhering to the wall anymore. And if you can't bring back the original artist, best use case is paint over it and either choose another site or another subject to be painted or another artist to paint the same subject and interpret that piece of history. Clearly communicate any intent to remove a work of art and the reason behind it. So, meaning of the artist changed over time, which can happen. Sometimes the artists themselves want a mural to abate and go away because their work has changed. They've grown as an artist, they've changed how they approach their work, or it's deteriorating or construction is necessary. Involve the property owner, the artist, and the immediate community in discussions. Another good practice is to document the art as it exists currently so that it can live on even as the work no longer exists. I want to give a shout out to the York County History Center that documented all of the 250th murals in their form so that even if as those easements are up and those murals due to deterioration or other reasons have to be abated, we have existence of those murals and proof that they were here. Okay, so what do we do now? So the first step is mapping what you have. We're starting to think more strategically about how to document what assets we have in York, what to do with an asset when it has passed its lifespan, and how to create a plan for what ways future public art can be part of our development as a community. Now I'll introduce Rita Whitney to share our interactive public art map that the Cultural Alliance has launched to finally be able to catalog the works that exist for both visitors and residents. Rita.
About 10 years ago, we launched the website york365.com thanks to a very generous grant from the Women's Giving Circle. We are incredibly proud of how far this resource has grown and how much traction it has gotten. It has great Google Analytics. I promise you, my social media team tells me so. And it's a really centralized resource for pretty much everything arts and culture in our county. We do kind of abide by York County lines as far as it goes. But it covers events, creative entrepreneurs and artists, and now public art. So I'll just give you a little bit of background about the tool and how it works and what it's for. This entire resource really aligns with the core work that the Cultural Alliance does. We want to be that centralized point that creates foundations that other groups can utilize and build upon. We are not always out there doing specific projects and kind of in front of everyone where you might see us, but we are always behind the scenes building out new ways to connect folks together so that our resources can be combined. And that's kind of what York 365 is. So it's number one, collaborative. If you go to the York County History Center website or Downtown Inc.'s calendar of events, what you're actually looking at is a feed from york365.com. Same thing in Hanover. You can pull and see just a list of Hanover events wherever you're going. You can pull and see a list of only theater events. You can see what calls for art are coming up. You name it, it's on York 365. And it's put there by anyone and everyone. So it is truly an open source resource. Any of our organizations, our venues, our artists can list their events as long as they are arts or culture related. And they will end up on York 365 and if appropriate, feed out to other calendars. So Downtown Inc.'s calendar, for example, just pulls all events that are listed in the 17401 zip code. And so that is a way that we are trying to create less segregation kind of between the different groups so that we can all pull together. It's community-led. Anyone can contribute pieces. Don't worry, I vet everything. It all comes to me, and I yes or no it. And it's also an incredible tool for hiring. You can imagine I get giving grants to artists and being an artist myself, I get a lot of requests for recommendations for photographers, videographers, designers, all sorts of things. And York 365 is the place where I point those folks to always. You can go on here and find yourself a muralist if you have a building and you're looking to install an interior or exterior mural. You can look through that artist portfolio of previous works. And now with the York County public art map, you can see if that muralist has done other pieces in York and exactly where they are and what they look like. It all integrates and feeds together into one system. We currently have over 200 artists listed on this website. So if you are in need of any kind of creative entrepreneur, I highly encourage you to check it out. We have spent over a year working on the public art module for York365.com, thanks to a wide number of community partners. First Energy at Foundation initially invested in this project so that we could begin building out the module, as well as Explore York and now our partner in York County Trail Towns. So we've been able to take everything that was great about York 365 events and our artists registry and apply it into public art. So if you want to see a list of only the artwork at the Yorktown Hotel, you can do that. If you want to go see artwork that is only in Red Lion, you can do that. If you want to see historic monuments, you can see that too. You can sort it any kind of which way, and it will custom pull a Google map for you right on the website. We are working currently on mapping and photographing works in Hanover, the Southern York County Trail Towns, as well as integrating Sam Dorm's paved over Providence locations and helping to promote Explore York and Vision Solutions virtual reality experiences, so all of it can be accessed in one place. There are so many partners working on all these incredible things, and we want to be that foundational resource that helps uplift everything. While we are really thrilled to finally do a public launch of this map, we still have a lot of work to do, and we need the community to do it. When you go and explore the resource for yourself, you'll see that a lot of the artwork is History Center murals and York City public art, and particularly well documented is the Royal Square Mural Park murals. And that's because all that information already existed in a form that was able to be handed to me. Everything else, to Kelley's point of plop art, is scattered and not held in one singular place. And so it's going to take us a long time to build up to this resource to a point where we are showing everything, if that's even possible, to be honest. And so we are greatly relying on the community to help us find the art in your neighborhoods that we might not know about. Already I'm having folks say, hey, there's this great mural on the garage door in my neighbor's alley. Okay, great. Send me a picture and let's get it on 365. We are blending also kind of the terms of what it means to be a public art map. So I want to have the Architecture Illustrated, his name is Blake, his architectural drawings in line with historic architecture throughout the city. That would be a cool public art map. Lots of different walking tours and all sorts of things. We're only just kind of hitting the tip of the iceberg as far as what this resource can really do for us. We knew that for this really kind of pie in the sky community resource, we were going to have to put some really serious marketing behind it. And we are fortunate to have really excellent collaborators in both Explore York and the Economic Alliance Trail Towns program to do so. As part of the Creative Communities designation and grant, which was awarded to York County Economic Alliance Trail Towns, we're excited to share with you the first look of multiple public art focused brochures for York County. You should have some on your table. We had them printed specially for you guys. And we're just working on isolating specific areas of public art that we can focus on and market. And so again, we started with York City mostly because all of the assets were already created and put together, and it was easier to start there. And we intend to soon roll out into further brochures focusing on different locations. So absolutely, the Southern York County Trail Towns being the next one. Once we are able to photograph and document a majority of the work in Hanover, there will be a brochure for Hanover. We're looking at AR experiences as a focus and historical sites. Again, the sky is the limit. And we just want to collaborate to be able to make these things possible. Hopefully you've seen these, anybody? We just launched billboards last week. They're in 5 different locations around town. Thanks to our very talented friends at Tetra Design, these billboards are running to publicize the public art map and drive traffic there. We also have radio spots on WXPN right now running. Hopefully you've heard those. Thank you, Jim. That sound really good. So we're trying to hit from all different angles. We've been waiting to roll out this public marketing plan for a few months now. And so the time is now. Yep. And in line with all of that, we invite everyone to our ribbon cutting, which we're hoping is on Friday. It's on Friday. We're going to go rain or shine. So thanks. Okay. I said it already, and I'll say it again. With projects this size, we can't emphasize collaboration enough. So thanks to the team at Explore York, in addition to the online map, the brochures, the billboards, the radio, and social media ads, we have our first public signage to give visitors easy access to all of the creativity that York has to offer. There are 2 of these maps installed in Mural Park and Royal Square that not only have a map of the surrounding district and the lists of all the businesses, but they take you to both York 365's public art map, as well as information about the specific murals in Mural Park, and also gives you access to all of the passports that Explore York has put together, which bring you out even further. So we're going to have a ribbon cutting. I hear it's like the first outdoor ribbon cutting that they have for the public art map and for the signage this Friday at this particular sign on Duke Street. At 11 a.m. And we would love for you to join us if you're interested in hearing more. I'm going to bring David back up to wrap it up here for YCEA and the Trail Towns.
Okay, so as Rita mentioned, I'll talk a little bit about the Trail Towns program. For those who aren't familiar, another hat I wear for the YCEA is I act as the Trail Towns program lead. For those who aren't familiar, the Trail Towns program's goal is to raise the prominence of the outdoor economy in York. And the outdoor economy in York is everything you think it is. It is individuals who are recreating in the outdoors. They're hiking, they're biking, they're angling, they're kayaking, they're playing sports at a local park, what have you. That's what we're trying to help better leverage. And it's taking on a lot of steam as of recent, just as it is investing in our public art spaces. So we want to make sure that we're trying to better leverage the economic opportunity that sits there. Just because individuals visit our community, they use our trails, they use our parks. We have a bevy of opportunities for individuals between 11 county parks, 12 on the way, 12 on the way, 4 state parks, municipal parks at a premium, and water resources at that. So individuals are doing that and they're recreating, they're coming from the tri-regional area. So we saw an opportunity to leverage that in 2020 where we started the program. So as we said, we're leveraging the outdoor recreational assets that exist here. But through that comes a business opportunity. So we started the focus in the Heritage Rail Trail communities, that is from the city of York, Seven Valleys, Glen Rock, Railroad, and New Freedom, right to the Maryland line. That Heritage Rail Trail, most of you should have been on it or at least know about it, is about 27 miles in length and attracts about 250,000 annual users. Those are individual users. We know people continue to visit the trail throughout the year. But additionally, we're just seeing a lot of other assets that we're trying to build upon. In addition with that is that we want to support the businesses and communities that are close in proximity to those assets. So we started a trail-friendly business program. There are 54 businesses throughout the county of York. They're not just in the trail towns, they're all throughout that wanted to better leverage the outdoor sector. Think of lodging, think of retail, think of restaurant spaces, cafes, the list goes on. Are opportunities for individuals who are off the trail to come inside to the storefronts. It's kind of like a Main Street tool essentially, but our Main Street is the trail. Our Main Street is the outdoors. And that's how we're kind of treating it in a sense to raise the prominency of that. So individuals who are trail users are utilizing these businesses to get a drink of water, to get Wi-Fi, to use the restroom. As you can imagine, that's on a premium of a sorts, and probably the #1 tourist attraction in the world is where's your restroom? So usually that's an opportunity in itself. And again, we're helping the communities too, where York and Hanover have a Main Street group, Downtown Inc., Main Street Hanover. We're serving YCEA or serving in that capacity for a Wrightsville, for a New Freedom and Railroad, and Glen Rock and Seven Valleys. Smaller communities, albeit, but opportunity is there. Be it there's strong Main Street community. New Freedom, for instance, I'll give, if you haven't been, I highly encourage. It is a bustling town at this point. About 8 businesses along its Main Street corridor, Franklin Street, and also it hosts the Northern Central Railway and the Heritage Rail Trail in itself. So again, we're ripe with opportunity. We just need to better communicate and coordinate with one another. The last thing is identifying opportunities for enhancement, and that's where it has a good intersection with our team here at the Cultural Alliance, where how can you beautify, how can you improve the connectivity, the walkability, the accessibility of these towns at large, where the coordination of when I get off the trail, where am I going? So we've invested in signage that we're improving along the major corridors in each of the communities along the Heritage Rail Trail, and also some signage in Wrightsville and Hanover as well. And additionally, doing some streetscape planning and also just community connectivity planning in all the communities too. One of which I'll mention is Seven Valleys, where we're doing a public creek access study, just about wrapped up. The opportunity there is to do public creek access, essentially in the creek. All of it, the boundary is privately held. So if you are in the water, if you are trying to get to the water, you're effectively trespassing. Looking at you, Doug. So the opportunities are there to build upon. That's because Kevin's not here. I needed to do the cheers. Yeah. But in a sense, though, too, along with the enhancement comes the opportunity of the public art that are in those towns, and some of which stems for its historical references. It's talking about the past. It's talking about what has happened in those communities in the last few years. Why YCEA has invested in the Trail Towns program in some of those towns is that those towns are old manufacturing towns. Those towns relied on the railroad heavy, but as we all know, those years have passed by. So that was the opportunity we saw forth. And again, leveraging tools, economic development tools like investing in our public spaces and public art is what we're doing. So recently, what we secured, as Rita referenced, was a designation called Creative Communities through PA Council on the Arts. Thank you. And 3 of which programs that we're working on, one of which Rita already emphasized on, is public art mapping. And that was a natural partnership opportunity with Rita and the Cultural Alliance at large. But another one we're doing is a Storefront Catalyst program. That is just a program we're affectionately calling it. It is essentially trying to raise the profile of vacant storefronts in all of those towns, whether they're available for lease or for purchase. You can imagine that there are a lot of open spaces in those towns themselves. So we took an example in December, this past December, and the bottom picture there is a building in Glen Rock Borough, 31 Main Street, Glen Rock. Large space in itself, large storefront, about 24 feet of window space in the front. It's sat vacant for the last 20 years. We saw an opportunity in itself to leverage some art and be able to showcase and get some attention to that space. Rita created a art piece for the annual meeting last year for the Cultural Alliance. She then flipped that as an opportunity to be placed right in ruins, right in Glen Rock at this storefront here. So during the day it was there active, but also at night it lit up to gain further attraction. During the holiday season, Glen Rock Borough was also hosting a holiday market as well. And if anybody has participated in the Carolers group in Glen Rock, that was also an activity that happened during that span. So for the month of December, that space was lit, and we're looking to do similar projects throughout the rest of the Trail Towns program network as well. And the last point I'll mention is public art investment at large and programming. So again, partnering with the Cultural Alliance on this as well. And we also identified an opportunity for Ruins Hall, which is in Glen Rock. It's an event venue space, former manufacturing facility, now in ruins, as the name says. And the opportunity there is that space is active all year long. It acts as a brew festival space. It acts as a wedding venue. It acts as a car show venue as well. And we wanted to build off of that and act as that town square of sorts for Glen Rock, which doesn't really have one to date. So we're investing about $2 million, both of private money and public money, to reinvigorate that space. And some of that earmarked from the Creative Communities Funding Fund dollars we have is to do a public arts sculpture in that space too. So more to come on there, but just wanted to tease that. And then additionally, to complement the public art mapping, we're looking at digital programming. So with the public art brochure, find an opportunity to host tours in town to talk about the public art in those communities. And again, find other avenues as well to do so. And I'll toss it back over to Kelley.
All right, next steps. So check one, document what you already have. Figure out how to care for it, maintenance it, sign it. That's a big step one. Step two, what else do you want? What does a comprehensive plan for the future of public art in New York look like? So we're looking at bringing in civic arts to help develop that comprehensive plan for the county of York, the whole county. That is also a spot that usually stops folks in their track. When you talk about doing a comprehensive plan for public art in the city of York, that feels a little more like your arms can get around it. When you talk about the full county, that gets a little more murky. But our county municipalities deserve to have their stories told, to have safety and security through public art, and to have economic development. And we shouldn't not provide that. So this would be a full county plan to find out ways public art can improve the environment and add to their sense of place. Civic Arts has worked for over a decade in the field of arts-based community development, and this would be the first step to creating a future roadmap for what public art is that we want as a community in York County. They like to say that they talk art to bureaucracy and they talk bureaucracy to artists. So they're sort of that beautiful conduit between who come into a community and can really work with both your civic, your municipalities, your groups in government, and with your community to find what that plan could look like for you. All right. And there was a question slide at the end. So I'll just leave it here. So now we'll take any questions that you may have. Thank you so much. One question. Okay.
Oh, we went over.
Who's going to be the lucky duck that gets a question?
Michael. Kelley, Rita, Dave, great job. Our public art is amazing. In addition, we've got singing, dancing, painting, acting, even parades, festivals. What role do those, call them the lively arts, have in our public art?
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate that question. And yes, as you also probably have felt ever since COVID, a lot of the things that we count on in our community as what we call cohesion builders, our parades, our festivals, our, Hanover sip and strolls, all of these things that we plan to have live music and connection with each other has been really disrupted. And that's due mostly to the fact that most of the funding for those either went away through some of the public means it used to come through. Pennsylvania Council no longer provides those kind of grants since COVID. And also there's no public real funding for those. It ebbs and flows. So those events ebb and flow. I think that we all agree in this work that we count that as part of public art. It is art in public spaces. Music, performance, or art in public spaces, and how do we involve that in this comprehensive plan so that we can do more of that in our smaller municipality communities who really need it and have been missing it since even before COVID. Hope that answers your question. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelley, Rita, and David, for sharing your passion and insights on public art in York. It's inspiring to learn how creativity is shaping our community and its future. And we appreciate the important work that you're doing. And we look forward to seeing those projects and future projects come to life. As you all know, instead of giving the speakers a gift, we purchase a book and we ask them to sign the bookplate and we donate it locally. This week's book will be donated to the York Academy Regional Charter School in York City, along with a bookmark made by the students at Creative York. Next week, our speakers will be Kim Hogelman from the York County Economic Alliance and Rotarian Mike Black, representing the York City Redevelopment Authority. They will be presenting an update on all the exciting development projects happening in downtown York City. The updates will include information on entities responsible, strategic partnerships, timelines for completion, funding sources, and the total dollar investment in the community. This meeting is now adjourned.
Taxi, the traffic distracts me from the strangers in my backseat.